an abandoned scrap iron dagger in a corner of the junkyard, yet you contracted it as your first martial soul in front of the entire class. Everyone laughed at you, saying you were doomed this life, but only you know that what you contracted is by no means garbage, but a rare yellow-grade soul of 1,000 blades. Knife. Just because you accidentally awakened a god-level trash system, you can not only see the hidden bloodlines of waste martial souls and soul beasts, but also fully evolve their bloodlines through the system. Ultimately, with the help of the system, you successfully defied destiny, and became the strongest and the only dual cultivator of contract beasts in Dragon Country. At this moment, Soul Emperor in the junkyard, Manhwa Anruo sees you contract a useless martial soul and frowns, saying, "Liu Ming, you disappoint me. I had clearly discussed with teacher Ning to chip in and buy you a soul weapon, but I didn't expect you to give up on yourself and contract a piece of scrap iron." After speaking, Anruo turned away and left, disappointment evident. In the original host's memory, Anruo treated you well, having brought you meals many times when you couldn't afford to eat. You slowly stood up, watching the beautiful figure leave, thinking quietly, "Rest assured, I, Liu Ming, will never resign myself to degradation." The next day, you went to school to fill out your college entrance examination application. Anruo saw you come in and immediately asked which school you were planning to apply to. In response, you asked, "Which one did you apply to?" Anruo looked down at her toes and said, "Kyoto Academy? Kyoto Academy, one of the 4 academies of Dragon Country." After thinking for a moment, you said, "Then I will also choose Kyoto Academy." Anruo, after the surprise, said helplessly, "Stop joking, the soul weapon you contracted is very difficult. When you get accepted, I have picked a good academy for you." However, before Anruo could finish speaking, you picked up the pen and wrote the words Kyoto Academy on the application form. For the other 4 options, you directly ticked abandon. After submitting the application form, you left with one sentence: "I will wait for you at Kyoto Academy." And Anruo was taken aback, and when she turned it around, your figure was already gone. Her eyes instantly reddened, and in her mind appeared again the face of the boy who risked his life 2 years ago to jump into the flood waters to save her. 2 days later, the National College Entrance Examination began, with the first item being the Soul Power test. The Soul Power levels are divided into white, green, blue, and red. White-green allows entrance to second-tier academies, blue to first-tier, and red to the 4 major academies. As for gold, it's just a legend. You wear the new clothes that Anruo secretly placed at your door to the academy. There is also a note on the clothes that says, "I am waiting for you at the Capital Academy." When you thought of this, a smile appeared on your lips. At this moment, people around you saw you walk in and instantly started mocking. "Isn't that Liu Ming? I heard he not only contracted a useless spirit weapon, but also applied to Kyoto Academy. Truly a loser." Everyone laughed out loud at you. Since childhood, I had no parents and had to rely on picking up garbage to survive, often becoming the target of their ridicule. You've long been used to it, and you slightly shake your head with a smile and say, "I will soon show you who the real trash is." As the broadcast sounded, the exams officially began. The exam venues at various academies were packed, while there wasn't a single person at the 4 prestigious academies. At this moment, you stood at the exam entrance, waiting for that familiar figure, but that figure still hadn't appeared. You had no choice but to enter the examination hall first. After entering, the examiner, although having heard the rumors about you and doubting your abilities, still allowed you to take the test. As you walked toward the soul testing orb, you immediately attracted everyone's attention. After all, you were one of the few people applying to Kyoto Academy. At this moment, Li Yulu had just passed the second-tier academy test and happened to see you stepping onto the testing platform. He was a fervent pursuer of Anruo and looked at you as if he saw an enemy, so he immediately mocked, "Ha ha ha, everyone, look, Lin Jiang. The well-known trash person is about to take the exam for the Kyoto Academy. It's like a naked person pushing a millstone, going in circles and making a fool of themselves." You stood on the high platform and naturally heard his voice. "Li Yulu, if I really get in, do you dare kneel and shout 'Daddy's amazing' 3 times? Li Yulu sneered and said, "If you can get in, I'll even call you Grandpa." Hearing this, you immediately walked to the soul measuring orb, and as soon as you placed your right hand on it, the orb emitted an ordinary white light, which then turned green and then blue. Just when everyone thought blue was your limit, the orb unexpectedly turned red and exploded with a hum. The vast examination hall fell into silence, as if frozen by someone. Pressing the pause button, even the assessment teacher Li Huayun was stunned. He had seen many with red talent, but he had never seen anyone make the soul measuring orb explode. At this moment, Li Yulu's face turned pale. He couldn't believe that the person he always looked down on was actually a red talent. "Don't worry, there's still the soul artifact test. His useless martial soul won't get him into the Kyoto Academy," someone beside him said unwillingly. Li Yulu quickly agreed. "Right, there's also the soul device test. I saw with my own eyes that he contracted a junk iron soul. Thinking about you failing, despite having red level prodigious soul power and becoming the talk of the town." Li Yulu's eyes regained their sparkle. Li Huayuan took a deep breath and announced, "Next is the second test, soul artifact quality assessment. Candidate Liu Ming, please prepare." The eyes of 20,000 people in the audience focus on you as you take out a metal knife from your bag. Seeing this, the crowd immediately begins to ridicule mercilessly. "Ha ha ha, it's indeed a useless knife. Who on earth gave him the courage to apply?" Kyoto Academy's Li Huayuan looked displeased, never expecting that such a promising candidate like you would actually contract with an iron knife. At this moment, you calmly said, "Teacher, this is my lifebound soul weapon, the Demon Blade 1000 Blades." As soon as these words were spoken, the entire audience was shocked. Everyone originally thought you had only bonded with an ordinary soul weapon, not expecting that you had bonded with a lifebound soul weapon. To know, a lifebound soul weapon can only form one bond, and normal soul masters only consider forming this bond at level 31, the soul core stage. Li Huayuan shook his head, thinking, "Is such a red prodigy talent being wasted just like this?" He waved his hand and a light ring descended, enclosing the assessment platform. Although I don't know where you got the confidence to make this your life-bound soul weapon, since you applied, you should give it your all. The test requires you to slay a first-level low-grade demon to pass. As he finished speaking, a 3-meter-tall demon appeared out of nowhere. No way! Is the entrance exam for the Kyoto Academy really this hardcore? We aren't even soul practitioners. How can we possibly defeat a demon? Li Huayuan continued. The soul device needs to be tested before the battle.